You think chaos just happens. A woman is killed, and two gangs point fingers, and everyone panics. But you never ask who needed to panic. In Cyberpunk 2077, there's a readable shard where a young Haitian woman is found hanging near the entrance to Terra Cognita. Her cyberware is stripped, her body is fried, and no faction claims responsibility. The scavs say it wasn't them, and the voodoo boys say it wasn't them either. Bargus Security just happens to have blurry CCTV footage, and within hours, the streets are buzzing. It was a scav job, somebody said. Nah, it was a voodoo boy retaliation. I thought she was a mole. It was forbidden love, somebody else said. See, everybody has a theory. But here's what actually matters. The moment the body was found, the conversation was already controlled. Because the loudest question wasn't who benefits from this. It was which gang do we blame? And that's the mechanism. And you've done this before. Something goes wrong in your family, and two people start arguing. And instead of stepping back and asking what's really happening, you pick a side. Because picking a side feels decisive. It feels like you're thinking. But you're not examining the situation. You're reacting to the narrative that showed up first. And once you pick a side, you defend it. Even if new information comes out. Even if something feels off. You double down. Because admitting you jumped too fast feels worse than being wrong. Now back to Dogtown. Let's slow it down a bit. A woman dies in territory largely influenced by the scavs. Her cyberware is removed. And that makes it look like a scav job. And yeah, that's obvious. Almost too obvious. And then a message appears. Didn't do it, EOT. The voodoo boys deny involvement. And so do the scavs. And meanwhile, Bargus controls the checkpoints. They control the footage. And they control the borders. And Bargus gains something valuable. And that's tension. Because when scavs and voodoo boys suspect each other, they don't look up. And they don't question the system overseeing them. Instead, they fight sideways. And that's how power stabilizes itself. It's not by crushing everyone at once, but it's by redirecting hostility. And you've done this before. At work, when management quietly lets two departments blame each other while the real issue sits above both of them. Or in a friend group when two people turn on each other and no one questions the person who planted the seed. Or in politics, when outrage cycles conveniently distract from policy decisions happening at the same time. And the chaos feels organic. But it isn't. It's guided. Now let's talk about something uncomfortable. When that woman's body was found, people filled in the gaps immediately. They said that she deserved it, and that she was probably dirty. And see, that happens fast. Because once you can morally downgrade the victim, you don't have to feel uneasy. You don't have to wonder if something bigger is wrong. And you don't have to question the system. You just categorize. And then move on. And you've done this. You've seen someone get fired, and instead of asking if something shady happened, you assume that they must have messed up somewhere. Or you've watched someone get publicly dragged, and instead of questioning the narrative, you think, well, they probably had it coming. Because if the world is unfair, then that's dangerous. But if bad outcomes only happen to bad people, then you're safe. And that belief protects you, even if it isn't true. See, this shard never confirms who killed her. And that's the point. The mystery is functional because the uncertainty allows escalation, and escalation justifies tighter control and more surveillance and more security and more intervention. And the gangs? Oh, they're too busy defending their reputations. And that's engineered instability. You don't need to stage a war. You just need to stage confusion. And confusion creates sides. And sides create loyalty. And loyalty prevents investigation. And investigation is the real threat. See, you don't always live under control. Sometimes you help maintain it. When you forward the headline without reading the article, or when you share the clip without checking context, or when you argue over the surface explanation instead of asking who benefits from the outrage. You think you're participating, but instead you're reinforcing. And once enough people reinforce the first story, the truth becomes irrelevant. And that's how it works in Dogtown. And that's how it works outside of it. The body is the spark. The narrative is the weapon. And the public reaction is the fuel. You don't need everyone to believe the lie. You just need them divided. And that's the mechanism.